Hi there, welcome to this video. It's a live stream. We're going to be looking at Ethervista for the first time to gain insight into what it is about. Is it really the Pumpfun of Ethereum? We'll be discussing getting in early, where to find early launches associated with Ethervista, amongst other things. Please bear with me. I want to quickly check the state of the stream if the audio is working, and I want to check that on multiple platforms. Just a moment. Then we will get started. If you are watching this on X, consider just a moment, please. If you are watching this on X, please consider following, reposting for more visibility. I'm almost done. Okay, I'm just going to check YouTube next, and that will be all. Okay, so let's get started. It's a bit technical, this platform, compared to Pumpfun. I don't know why that is, uh, but we'll be establishing that in the course of this video. Because when you visit here, this is the launcher. Basically, this is where you create or launch a token. Uh, we will come back to this. Then, besides the launcher, there is nowhere to find new token launches. So if you went to ethervista.app, you are met with this. Basically, this is an invitation, I believe, to add LP or something, and there's some reward structure associated with that. Now, in the case of Ethervista, at this stage, it's you should be using maybe a burner wallet or a new wallet that's discardable at this stage, because it's a new project, perhaps hours of history so far. Thus, there may be relevance to doing that. Now, of course, our due diligence starts on Twitter. That's where we can get some information about Ethervista. Now, as a narrative, we all know that it's a strong narrative. I mean, we're talking a meme coin launcher for Ethereum. First up, we know the kind of Web3 entities on Ethereum. We all know that it has been dormant on Ethereum for an extent, and it's going to be welcomed a meme coin season on Ethereum. The gas fees are no longer expensive on Ethereum. That, amongst other reasons. Another reason is, uh, of course, while there's room for the likes of Pump Fund, people want something that is more unruggable. And if such a project came about, especially on Ethereum, with the type of maxis on there, it's likely to be welcomed. Okay, so on the Twitter, let's start there. They've gained around 4,000 followers in a few hours, I believe. Last time I checked hours ago, it was just 4,000 or so followers. Now, let's quickly look at the token Vista. It has also gained traction, I think around 24 million M cap currently. And it was recorded on X at as low as 1 million M cap, something like that. The name of the token is Vista, actually, but I'm just typing in Ether Vista. Interestingly, it's not even coming out for that search query. That is likely to benefit these top tokens such as Vista Dog and Bonzi. In fact, Bonzi was the first token to launch on Ether Vista and is a token of interest according to me. I'll be looking at it later on. But there's Vista Dog that has managed to gain traction as well. Now, interestingly, it hardly shows liquidity lock or that icon here, which is something to be wary about. But another positive to Ethereum related launches is the LP. It's possible to create a staking pool, incentivize LP provision such that these meme coins can have robust LP and a healthy kind of chart in turn. Now, this may be a token of interest as well, but let's look at Vista very quickly. It's interesting that Ethervista doesn't bring up the Vista token. I mean, the Ethervista token. Okay, this is not the real one. It's on Solana. Okay, someone created this on Solana to follow the momentum of the Ethervista one. And interestingly, it's showing here. Now, that's interesting move there. It may bring traction to its interesting stuff. Okay, so Ethervista, this is the token. It has kept growing in valuation at the moment, 26 M market cap. So let's stop there. You also see large buys on here. Okay. Now, history-wise, there is a white paper, September 1. We'll be looking at that. I don't know if it's viewable here. We'll be looking at like a summary of it. Okay, so here it says we are seeing a lot of pairs being created on Ethervista. A note for creators and apes out there. Creators, you can now easily launch a project via the launcher tab. Now, this is important for some who may want to launch their token. This is important. So let's go through it very quickly. Then we feature the launcher slightly before we continue. So you can now easily launch a project via the launcher tab and set the metadata for the project. So what is being referenced is this. So this is where you launch a token, basically. Okay, let's take a look at that. Go back to what we're looking at. Okay, this metadata allows users to have verifiable and secure access to links / information. Also, we are seeing many projects launching with 0 fees, which cause swaps to fail. So this is important. A minimum of $1 must go to the LP providers and protocol or creators. The Ethervista DEX strongly incentivizes creators to burn their liquidity, as transferring LP tokens to the burn address does not change their share of the LP rewards. This means you will still benefit from fees even if you transferred your tokens to this address. Burning LP tokens is the only exception to the rule. Adding and removing liquidity updates your share of the pool. So what is being said there, it may turn out a sign of a token that one may want to ape in going forward based on that notice is those that show LP burned. Although many of the tokens, as is obvious here, do not show that. So it's being encouraged to start burning LP or something like that. But if you look at Vista Dog, for example, LP is not burned. Some of these projects are wary about whether they will still earn LP fees when they burn the LP tokens, because on Radium, when they burn the LP tokens to list on Radium, they don't earn any revenue. Compared to that is listing on Meteora, where you maintain earning revenue even though you burned the LP. So basically what Ethervista is saying is even if you burn the LP, you will still earn fees. Now, this brings us to another aspect of Ethervista that constitutes a value proposition. Meme coins are likely to launch on Ethereum through Ethervista, not only because of the aforementioned pros but also because they can earn fees to sustain the project even if they end up burning LP. Okay, so that's a side note there. It's saying that you can burn your LP by sending it to the dead address. Now, it's also saying that when launching, if you launch with zero fees, it will cause swaps to fail. A minimum of $1 must go to the LP providers and protocol creators. Now, I don't know if we'll be able to establish, you know, at this stage what the process of launching is just by looking here. Uh, Typically, when you are launching on Pumpfun, you simply give the token a name and populate it with metadata, and it will just launch. But here it's looking a bit different. It's saying here pair selection. We'll understand this later on, not to worry, for those who are project creators, but we will skip this for now and focus on those who want to ape into meme coins and come back to this. I'm interested in this because that's another route to consider when dealing with Ethervista. So here it says Ether. Oh, you can actually paste address. The question is, and perhaps decide what token to pair it against. Is it against ETH, Vista, or USDT? But the problem is, where do you deploy the token? Where do you deploy the token? We will see if we can answer those questions, but we will skip that aspect for now. If you look here, you will see the score of these tokens is not very good. So here it says tax modifiable, yes. Ownership renounced, no. Transfer. So it has all this sort of red flags, something that tokens on Pumpfun don't have traditionally. So take note of that. By the way, if you are aping in, do extra due diligence. I don't know why it's like this. The launcher, I'm not sure, you know, wow. Okay, the launcher, I'm not sure what uh hmm. So buy sell. So you can actually set the fee. You can also set protocol fees. So you have more control over the tokenomics to an extent compared to Pump Fund, where you don't have any control, you don't have any of the supply. Okay, so let's leave this for now. We'll come back to this. For now, let me say that a good avenue to start finding tokens to, if you want to ape into, considering there is no such platform administered by Ethervista that displays new token launches, your only probability is super chat based on what I've seen. So you can set one up and type your message. You will also see messages there. The admin of Ethervista is also here, but they have I think this is the admin here. Okay. Now this is the burn address. So here, maybe I'm looking at Bonzi, but also want to see low caps, but I can't find where to look. So that's an inquiry by many people. I'm sure someone will build something like that later on. I know of a platform that is maybe interested in incorporating this. So I'll suggest it to them. This is an example of a contract address to look into. Now, of course, when you pick a contract address such as this, you will need to do your own due diligence because, of course, permissionlessly, anyone can present a token there. Now, just before this video, this token was 9K M cap. It's already at 21K. At this moment, many of the tokens will fare well. The reason is because we're talking of a new uh, let's call it a new trend, and the first ones will fare well. So the first one in this case is Bonzi. Now, I don't know, originally I saw something related to like a category for, but I don't know how to find it now. Just a moment. Where to find all the launches for the screen. All right. Okay, so you need to do dexscreener.com/ethereum/f.ethervista to check out the ecosystem. I don't know if they've added it on the sidebar here for you to find it out, and you'll see how most of them are faring. So that's Bonzi there. Now, this may be a good entry point. I think the price has dipped 308. It may be shaky at the outset. I'll be looking into this later on, especially if they come up with burning LP. Like at this timely moment, I think the token will gain traction. This is the very first one based on what I'm seeing on X that launched out of the launcher. Generally, it becomes a veteran token. Okay. Now, here you may be able to find new ones. So you will have to make use of filters here to look at new pairs. Let's see the 1 hour time frame. So this may be the only option available at the moment. This is 33 minutes, the age of it. So this may be where to catch these tokens, but it's best when you can do a measure of due diligence, before aping in. But of course, you have the luxury that in the near term, some of these tokens will do well, especially if they burn LP. This is not burned. And this has one issue. Open source, no. Holder count, 1. Why is that? Maybe this has not picked up the information. Always do due diligence on this one. Check if there is gas, there is fee requirement when purchasing and stuff like that. So again, that's where you can ape in at the moment, because there is nowhere, no portal on Ethervista directly where you can find these tokens. So now, if we go back to Ethervista, the second option is here. Here, buy token Vista on. Okay. So anyway, this chat may be helpful, especially if multiple people are discussing here about a token. Okay, so that's a side note. Now, liquidity, let's see here. Now, the structure of this for people launching a coin, it looks like you will have to add liquidity. So it doesn't look like a situation where liquidity is bootstrapped by the community. So let's find out about that. It's important, as it will help this video. So here it says ape user. So it's referring to users here. Please do your own research and go towards projects that have enough liquidity and most of the tokens in the liquidity pool. So that's another thing to do when you're doing due diligence, because it looks like the token creator has all the control. They determine how much of the tokens that they've created goes into the LP. If they put only 10%, for example, in the LP, they will have a lot of it, in their possession and stuff like that. So, wow, it's not like Pumpfun at this stage at all. At all. Just a moment, please. Let's see launcher. Hmm. So I'm thinking that they will deploy the token traditionally, and then they simply come here to add LP, and they have a DEX automatically here where swap is possible. Okay, so we will get the gist, not to worry, just be patient. I'm also learning in the course of this video. I didn't know anything about this. I'm just documenting my learning. Okay, so also verify on DEX screener and Etherscan to make sure the token does not have any other security concern or red flags. Reminder that you can also click the Explorer tab on Ethervista and paste the token address to see the token details and how much fee they have. Wow, so that's a good to know. So let's pick one of the tokens here. Let's see this one. Because this one, I don't know why the chart is like this, but let's see. So this is the LP. equal sides, Ethereum against this, although it's not burned and all that. So I'm sure it's anyway. We'll find out if it's possible for them to remove LP and stuff like that. We'll be finding out because I think that there is a security measure to prevent rugs by the protocol itself, especially when they add LP. It may be locked there or something like that. So we'll establish that. Be patient. So there is something called Explorer here. Let's see what this is. Okay, this is changing the background. Super chat router. I don't know what router is. Okay, so select token. Okay, so this is time of creation, description, null price, supply 1000, rewards. Okay, it's not as it's better to use Dex Screener or other avenues like Dex tools. Okay, so that's let's continue. So reminder that you should also click. Okay, this way you can decide if a project has too high fees for you to invest or if it seems appropriate. I didn't really see fee information here. Okay, so this has a buy fee of 3%, sell fee of 3%. So that means if you are buying this, you will need slippage of around 3% or 3.1, something like that. Okay. Okay, let's proceed. Okay. Keep in mind that part of the fees go to the liquidity providers, so a certain amount of fees is not necessarily a bad thing if it incentivizes people to add liquidity and the creator to keep building in order to earn fees in the long run. As mentioned in our white paper, our goal at Ethervista is to incentivize long-term project success by rewarding creators with liquidity and protocol fees, which grow over time with trading volume. The approach benefits both users and creators, making sustained commitment more profitable than quick sell-offs or liquidity withdrawal. So they do have mechanisms in place to deter liquidity withdrawals. We will have to look for a publication that explains that. So okay, so let's look at this. Pump Fund now has a competitor on ETH. I think this is different from Pump Fund at this stage. The ETH Max is in a dire state with Vitalik tweeting that DeFi doesn't matter. ETH BTC hitting new lows, ETF. So basically talking about the timeliness of the launch of EtherFi. Uh, Ethervista seems positioned to finally launch a novel project by crypto natives playing on a fair launch model, 100% supply for LPs. This project has the potential to be a serious runner due to the way it's launched and the timing of the narrative, with nothing exciting happening on Ethereum at the moment. Breakdown. They are looking to be the Pumpfun of Ethereum, allowing you to customize parameters to a certain degree with new token launches while discouraging rugging liquidity through bonding curves and revenue sharing. Okay, this is achieved by adding a 5-day lock-in period on the initial LP provision by new creators. Okay, so it's assured that any LP added here cannot be withdrawn. I mean, this is talking of by the dev, not by individuals, I believe, by the dev. So at least for 5 days, it cannot be withdrawn. And you have assurance that you'll be able to trade in and out of it, at least in the first 5 days. Interesting stuff. Okay, so that's that we're knowing now. Okay, so from their research, they found that most rugs occur between 2 to 4 days. The 5-day timer begins at the time of the first token liquidity addition by the creator when projects launch on Ethervista. This ensures that the token creator cannot withdraw liquidity from other providers. Okay. Yes, so basically, when you are free to add LP as well, the initiator of the liquidity pool cannot pull out your liquidity. Okay, so hello. Okay, so benefits to users and liquidity providers. This system instills confidence in users as it ensures project stability during the critical early phase. Liquidity providers also benefit by earning more fees over the long term. So, another reason why tokens may fare well uh, on Ethereum compared to Solana, especially if the launch is on Radium, is the ability to earn fees from LP provision. Ethereum is known for that. So people may also desire to buy token using the LP method, buy the token using the LP method or DCA and stuff like that. So they'll end up buying the token. So custom fees in ETH. So it says fees is in ETH. Instead of charging a standard fee in tokens like most AMMs, Ethervista charges a fee in native ETH for each swap. This fee is distributed among liquidity providers and token creators, encouraging them to remain committed to the platform long term. Now, I don't understand this very well. So let's read it again. Custom fees in ETH. Instead of charging a standard fee in tokens like most AMMs, Ethervista charges a fee in native ETH for each swap. This fee is distributed. Okay, so I think it's talking about Ethervista itself. They are the ones creating the incentive for liquidity providers of different tokens and different token creators. So maybe what they are talking about here is the protocol when you swap here. Like, let's say you swap here. I don't know if the same applies if you route your swap through Uniswap. Like, maybe they still get a cut, they still get a fee for every swap, put it in a treasury, and then distribute it to the ecosystem. I'm not very sure. We'll have to find out more about that. Incentivizing longevity. The model discourages quick liquidity withdrawals, often associated with rug pulls. By implementing a delayed liquidity removal mechanism, this ensures that developers and investors benefit from sustained activity and volume rather than just price spikes. Now, this is not protection enough because, as was mentioned earlier, it's possible that only a portion of the supply is put in the LP. So let's say 10% of the supply, while the developer has a large bulk of the supply, can still dilute the market without pulling LP. Okay, smart contract and customization. The platform allows creators to set up smart contracts to handle fees. Okay, which can be used for various DeFi applications like staking or auto buys. This gives creators flexibility in managing their projects while ensuring continuous growth. Hmm. Wow. Okay. Let's just continue. Advanced features. Ethervista plans to expand its services to include ETH, BTC, USDC pools, lending, futures, and fee-less flash loans, aiming to become a comprehensive DeFi platform. So it's basically just the tip of their vision based on what is seen here. Hence, perhaps the reason why the token is gaining value, because I was saying whom earlier, because at this stage I don't see much yet that they offer. uh, at this stage they offer a protocol that deters early LP removal and an incentive paid out in ETH from their own revenue, I think, to incentivize the ecosystem. uh, of course, the revenue will be determined by the growth of their project. So that's where this comes in, where they expand uh, to other aspects of DeFi. Then they now play a big role. And in my mind, I'm trying to compare them to the likes of Pumpfun. I don't think they are a comparison. They are just their own, basically. I don't think they are the Pumpfun of Ethereum, but I'm not able to determine that fully yet until perhaps I attempt to launch a token in another tutorial to figure out what the process is like. Okay, so let's see here. It says Ethervista's native token. Vista is deflationary with a capped supply of 1 million. Its value is designed to increase over time as the protocol continuously burns tokens, reducing the supply and raising the price floor. So we will have to learn the mechanics for burn, what maybe what portion of the revenue is going to be burned and stuff like that. Is it just a traditional burn or a buyback and burn? But if the supply is 1 million and there are plans for the future, then as it is, maybe it's undervalued, maybe it can still amass value. Okay, so let's go back and quickly rush this. Risks. The initial unlocks of LPs will happen around September 4th, which will probably trigger a short-term sell-off. However, the team hasn't released any details on the Ponzinomics regarding the Vista token burn. Okay, so there is no information based on this about the mechanics of the burn for the Vista token. They specified that it will be a deflationary model with price increasing as revenue is generated in ETH. So the burn is going to come out from the revenue they generate in ETH. Part of that ETH will be paid to LP providers and token creators. Okay, my guess is they are waiting until closer to the unlock of the LPs to reduce sell pressure, which I think is a smart move. It had a shaky start due to the front end not working, which caused a sell off, but that's pretty common for new launches and isn't a red flag for me. My outlook, I got in quite early, around 2.5 million, and at the time of writing, it's sitting at 7 to 10 million, so I've got a lot of room. But okay, I've used a few tools and scanned socials for smart following and wallet, and I haven't seen many people watching. It has a few of the right people I look for when aping this early. The team has taken a lot of inspiration from Curve Finance, both visually and technically, which I like to see as it's a proven model. Okay, just a moment. Okay, so this is someone's thoughts. It's similar to mine. Let's look here. Liquidity burned forever. So they've actually burned liquidity. The interesting thing is that it doesn't show on Dex Screener. So take note of that. It's very possible that some of these tokens have burned liquidity, but there's no icon showing that on here. I don't know if that's normal. So you may need to look on Dex, other tools like Dex Screener. I mean, Dex tools. Creator balance 1 million. Just a moment, please. Okay, you will need to use other tools to find out more about the token. Although the number of the Vista inside this pool is very small, if the supply is 1 million, only 51,000 is shown here. I'm not even sure. Only anyway. Oh, and the price of the token per one is 23. Why is it like that? So that's something that one may be wary about, because that's like if the supply is 1 million, just a small amount is in the pool. For those who want to be wary, generally I look at tokens in terms of their utility amongst other things. Let's look at Bonzi again. Okay, just a moment. Okay, so let's quickly look at a bit more. Now, the reason I'm doing this is I'm also going to be looking at this ecosystem. So I want to know this is basically preparing for that, so that I'm not just aping in aimlessly. So here, first of all, 25K USD has been earned by liquidity providers only from Vista token. Okay, so now I understand. I think that based on the setup of other tokens that launch on Ethervista, there is also fees generated from that paid out in ETH. So I believe, based on what I'm seeing here, is that the revenue generation being referenced is not only from the Vista token, it will involve other tokens that come out from the ecosystem of Ethervista. That's my speculation. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so also the team tokens are locked as well, but of course they've burned it, but it's not the whole supply, it's just that small amount. Okay. So let's see these rewards and future plans. Claiming rewards. All liquidity cannot be removed during the first 5 days. You can still claim your rewards at any time. As of now, LP rewards on the Vista token alone exceeds $25,000 within just 5 hours of launch. If you're an LP, you can claim your share at any time. Remember that the fees are paid in ETH, which means that since the fees collected are not Vista token, this creates less sell pressure on Vista or any other token launched on or any other token launched on Ethervista. So this is buttressing what I mentioned earlier, that revenue is likely also generated from other tokens based on the fee that they choose, because there's something called protocol fees here. I don't know if it's optional, it may be optional. Protocol fees. So this is likely referring to Ethervista. Better where the fees are low. I think it may be optional. One may have zero fees. It's very possible. Okay, so this 3% fee, like I'm understanding what was said earlier. It's not all the fees generated here that goes to the team of the project of the token. A portion goes to the protocol and it's basically revenue for Ethervista to pay out to the ecosystem. I will tell you my conclusion after all. As mentioned, the team did not manage to buy any tokens, so all the tokens from the sale are now in the hands of the community. Okay. Coming next, how did the Vista token benefit from the protocol fee? Hint, price floor is up a lot, supply is down a lot. This is our new ERC, standard value compounding deflationary tokens. Okay, so we are about to conclude this video. I've seen all I want to see. Besides looking at the white paper, which you can do on your own. Let's quickly see this. Native token of the DEX. Okay. So we don't know about the burn mechanics, if there's any buyback element to it. We only know that considering revenue is raised in ETH, it deters sell pressure on any of the tokens launched out of Ethervista. Conclusion at this stage, it's going to gain traction. Although it's not fully evolved and there's a measure of centralization at the moment, it's not all like smart contract centric. I think there can be changes made and stuff like that. So you wouldn't compare it to, say, Pumpfun, for example, where everything is set in stone from the outset. Now that may not be a bad thing. I'm just establishing that, of course, there's room for a measure of centralization with early stage projects till they are fully formed and maybe till the token is fully distributed. I don't know if they had an airdrop or something. Interestingly, I saw this project early, but I didn't participate or I forgot. Okay. So uh, now I don't know. Let's before we go, let's just look at one token. I don't know what I can't think offhand of what tools to use to to check a token because I'm not on my normal PC. I just started out with this PC and I've not transitioned my wallets and stuff yet. Doing it gradually, so I don't want to just connect to. Let's just check Dex to. Let's just check Dex tools and see. It may have more information there, like more superficial information in the event that you want to do like quick due diligence. Where is it? It's a long time since I came here. So for this token, it's saying that circulating supply is 1 billion and total supply is 1 billion. Hopefully it's correct. So this is saying that, all the supply is, uh, I don't know, all the supply has been minted basically. Now, I don't know if this is correct. I'm not very sure. You will need to find out. Just a moment, please. Inside the pool is 240 something against 32. Once again, it's showing that 100% of the supply is circulating. So I don't know the history of this, if they did like an airdrop and stuff like that. I'm not very sure. But this gives extra information. Now, I don't know where to find. Uh, so here by Go Plus, it says zero tax. But I don't know. That means that it's possible to launch a coin without tax and maybe without revenue generated for Ether Vista. I'll find that out when I check the paper. Now, as for launching the coin itself, it looks like you will have to launch a coin traditionally using Remix, or you can use any third-party platform like Pink Sale. And I believe it's going to be a standard token when you are creating it. And then you come and add LP. It's recommended to, so there is no like bootstrapping and all that. You need to have some funds to put in the LP. I believe so. So it's just different from Pumpfun. So there's still room for Pumpfun or the creation of a Pumpfun uh, on uh, on Ethereum with unique mechanics, but similar to Pumpfun. There's still room for that. That said, we like be exploring this ecosystem. Yes, although it's a bit technical too. It's not as basic as the likes of Pumpfun. Like for Pumpfun, I interact with it using BullX, which simplifies the process of everything, due diligence, and all that. In fact, although wow, this has really dipped in price. Okay, so I got this Vista token on Solana. It rose, but it has really dipped now. But of course, if you are trading on Solana here, you can put stop loss and all that to deter such possibility of a dip and also take profit. So I use this. If you want to use this, it needs an invite. The invite will be in the description, or you can reach me. But basically, you can use BullX /Web3 wikis. It will also give you 10% off fees. The onboarding is through Telegram. You need a Telegram account. And for Tron, now I would also use BullX when interacting with Ethereum. So generally, if I would end up purchasing a token from Ethervista that I found on Deck Screener, I would end up bringing it here and trading it on here because of all these advanced features. So what I mean is, like if I were to trade Bonzi, I wouldn't do it on Uniswap, or because then if I trade it here, I can set limit trades and all that. Everything you need is here. So additional audit information and all that tax information is here. So I'll definitely trade it on here. There is also an airdrop from the use of BullX. Okay, now this features 6 chains, but for Tron and the Tron season ongoing, I'll still use BullX, but they've created a native platform for Tron specifically with all the advanced feature, including DCA, cheaper fees. So this is a platform I would use for Tron, and it's an early stage platform. You need an invite. Invite will be somewhere in the description. But typically you can find invite if you go to my Twitter and you click on profile articles, you'll find a full-fledged article for Tron, BullX Tron, and BullX. Very lengthy with all the videos you'll need, as well as your early access, which you can find here. Time to end this now. I didn't even check this to see if there is any participation. Okay, so I think we've gathered enough information for one video for you to get started on Ethervista. For some people, they may altogether you will need to trade. Even if you want to add LP to earn ETH, you will need to have to purchase the tokens in question. So to add LP, I believe is the traditional way. You paste in contract address. Typically, it will be paired against ETH, and then you deploy. No, this is even you creating LP. So this, just a moment, rewards. Okay, so this is where you claim your rewards. LP, you can institute the LP or contribute to an existing LP. Let's see this before we go. Okay, I think we've seen enough for this video. I'll be ending it now. Subscribe to Web3 Wikis on all platforms, including YouTube. Stay awesome. Take action.